Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Insight on Things You Should Know. My name is John Gray, and I'm very, very glad to be on the show today with a great guest I'll introduce to you in just a minute. What this is a time of year for elections to happen, and when that does, we usually bring the candidates on to discuss the issues and try to find out a few answers about what's going on in our community and local surrounding area. Now, I want to let you know that the election is August the 6th. Early voting starts July the 17th through August the 1st. In Manchester, it is at the center over there, the Justice Center over there, and in Tullahoma, it's at CD Stamps. In Manchester, it is from 8 o'clock in the morning till 4:30 in the afternoon, Monday through Friday. In Tullahoma, it is from 9 o'clock until 4:30 in the afternoon at CD Stamps. Now, if you want to go on the Election Commission, Coffee County Election Commission.com's website, you can find a little thing over there that says election brochure. A lot of you folks are going to need to know about how to do a proper write-in vote. Some people are going to want to have a mail-in vote that gives you all the instructions on how to do that on that website. So now what I want to do is introduce our fourth and final candidate for mayor of Tullahoma, Mr. Eugene London.
Thank you,
Welcome,
Captain John.
Eugene.
Hey, glad to be with you once again.
Glad to have you here. And give us a little bit about Eugene, and then we'll come back after our first commercial break and get into some deeper topics. But tell the audience out there a little bit about Eugene.
Well, once again, I'm Eugene London, the write-in candidate for mayor for 2020. And I was born and raised here in the Tullahoma area. Went to school on athletic scholarship, played basketball at Southeastern Louisiana University, a Division I school, went to JUCO first, junior college in Georgia. Been involved with the city quite a bit for many, many years, kind of working in the backgrounds, served on different boards, served as the chamber president. I think I was a Santa Claus one year for the parade. Done a lot of things that we're very, very pleased with in Tullahoma. Invested heavily in education, working closely with the school system as far as giving out scholarships. We work with the Motlow, serve on the foundation board. I can give you a long list of things that we've done in order to try to better Tullahoma. But the main thing is that I want people to know that I'm not an outsider. I've been here all my life. I think I understand Tullahoma and understand the people, and have played a very, very positive role in making changes here in Tullahoma, and like to continue to work in that capacity.
All right, folks, what we'll do is take a quick commercial break and get back and discuss a couple of topics with Eugene.
Hello, I'm Ray Noyes. This is a critical time in Tullahoma. On August the 6th, voters will have an opportunity to elect a new mayor, one who can provide proven, experienced leadership, one who knows how to get things done and keep Tullahoma moving. I recognize the value of Tullahoma's excellent school system. Our system is recognized as one of the best in the state, and I'll ensure that our schools continue at that level. I will not vote to raise property taxes in order to have a balanced budget until all other options have been exhausted. I'll work closely with our city staff to ensure that my fiscally conservative values are incorporated. Now, I've served on all city boards involved in economic development. I see that as a way that we can broaden our tax base and avoid a property tax rate increase. Some developers have had issues with our Planning and Codes Department. I'll commit to these improvements. There'll be consistency in the instructions from Planning and Codes without changes from day to day. And there'll be predictable timelines for providing delivery dates for plan reviews, permits, and inspections. Timelines that will be met reliably. Now, while we can't do much about the traffic on 41A and 55, we can improve our local streets and sidewalks. And this I commit to do. So I ask for your vote for proven, experienced leadership.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back with mayoral candidate Eugene London. And Eugene, the first question I want to ask you is, I want you to give me your definition of what is Tullahoma, Tennessee.
Tullahoma is a close-knit community that's made up of a bunch of hardworking people, scientists, engineers, and teachers that have pretty much built this area. Tullahoma to me is a place that I've called home and come back here after graduating from college and even in working in Huntsville and open my business here as well. But I see Tullahoma as a friendly place, but Tullahoma needs some changes.
Okay, now with that question asked, the second question, what is Eugene London's vision for the future to see Tullahoma grow and prosper?
Well, Tullahoma has done a good job as far as recruiting retail. Retail is good if you have a job and you can spend money and buy things. My vision of Tullahoma is bringing in companies into Tullahoma of clean manufacturing, good paying jobs where we can put people to work. If we can't put people to work, there is no outlay to success.
Okay. I know that the audience out there, it's hard to have privy into what TDAC is doing because a lot of the negotiations and things that they do are closed door. And so we can't say, oh yeah, we're talking to this company who's going to bring in 1,000 jobs and such and that, because with the internet and the way things are, one word gets out and it kills a deal.
Yes.
Do you not think that what we're doing on the retail side and the cultural side in Tullahoma is not helping, in that it's sort of building a nest, a comfortable nest? When somebody looks at Tullahoma, they think, wow, this is a place where I want my employees to live.
Yeah, let's talk about that. And I applaud our Mayor Lane Curley for him putting Tullahoma on the right trajectory when it comes to recruiting retail. Retail is necessary for our tax base, but at the end of the day, we have got to recruit companies. We have to aggressively recruit, incentivize them to come here to put people to work. People need jobs in order to go shopping. Without jobs, you can't buy things.
Right.
Retail jobs are fine, but we find people working 2 or 3 jobs just to pay the bills. So as a high-tech town with fiber to the premise, we should be able to recruit some clean manufacturing companies that can create jobs here in Tullahoma that pay very, very well.
Now, for our audience out there, and not saying that people don't really understand, define clean manufacturing.
Clean manufacturing would be, well, I'll give you an example. At one time, we process leather, and it has a really bad odor.
Right.
We have other jobs that are very, very dirty jobs. But
right.
With technology, we're using machines, we're using robots,
right.
We're using what I call automation in order to create a job that the environment is healthy, it's not extremely hot, it's not extremely cold, where people do not put their health at risk in order to work these jobs and make a living.
Okay. Do you think that you, being Mr. Manufacturer, Mr. Company Owner, which you are, you're a company owner, you chose to be here, is our workforce ready for these people to come in here because a proper workforce for these folks is one big thing they're looking for.
Our workforce is getting ready. I serve on the Motlow Foundation board, and I work very closely with Dr. Torrance. Motlow is doing a really good job of reaching out to companies and asking them what do they need. For example, we're heavily in cybersecurity, and when Dr. Torrance first came to Motlow, he and I sat down and talked about cybersecurity engineers and what it takes. The government is looking for ones that have certifications, and when I expressed to him what I needed, he quickly modify the program in order to address our needs, so that in a year or two from now, we'll have cybersecurity people that we can put to work.
Okay. There's things going on downtown right now that some people have question about, and I don't think the general public knows everything that's happening downtown. To try to get a main street or a certain designation down there, and that will involve some entrepreneurial grant money to bring some of these smart young people who could make their living anywhere, but bring them into Tullahoma, put them in a space and have access to money. Steve Jobs could have done what he did anywhere. We're trying to attract those people into our downtown area by what the city's trying to achieve there, is the best I understand. What's your understanding of that?
Well, I'm not really sure as to what the city is doing, because what I've seen, I've not seen an aggressive approach to make these things happen. That's why I believe that health, wealth, and education is so important to growing Tullahoma. We've got to make sure that our citizens have access to the best health care providers here in town. It's a shame when people lose confidence in our health programs. They leave and drive to Murfreesboro, Nashville to get health care services. It's kind of unusual when we say that we rank in the top in our educational program, but that's the 1%. And there's a huge gap between the 1% and the other ones that are scoring the C's. We got to close that gap. Let's talk about wealth. The key here is building wealth. We have got to make sure that we understand technology transfer. There are programs out there in the government where there's patents sitting on the shelf, and the government will give you labs and give you access to their science and things of that nature. All we need to do is get behind those bright people that you spoke about, set them up so that we can continue to further technology and create jobs and business here in Tullahoma.
Okay. Very good. Very good. If we make these kind of things happen, do you see in the near future the boundary? Do we have a boundary problem as far as having enough space to accomplish some of these things we need to accomplish inside of our area that is deemed to be Tullahoma?
The issue for a long time is that Tullahoma is landlocked. You've heard that many a times if you've ever sat in a meeting with the city or gone to any board meeting or any chamber meeting. We talk about being landlocked. There's opportunities. There's some land that's available that the city can look at maybe purchasing. I think at one time we had an incubator here. But there's some things that we can do in order to affect change and create facilities and things of that nature that we can bring in scientists and people that want to do research and start business. UTSI still has an office space out there that we can work with and get access to.
Yes.
So we have a lot of excuses why we haven't done things. And that's why I'm running for mayor, because I'm tired of the excuses. I'm tired of people saying, hey, building and code department, why do you have to put a water fountain in your building if you only have 5 employees and nobody wants to use a water fountain? Why does it take so long to get a permit? The problem that we have is that for the past 12 years, everyone who's gone to City Hall, everyone has said, I'm going to fix this problem. But they don't invite the right people in the room who know how to fix it. and know where the problem is. We can't focus on the solution until we've identified the problem. And you've got to have the right people in the room. Who are the right people? You've got to have the builders. You've got to have the real estate people. You've got to have the attorneys, the ones that have to deal with this. These are the right people that you bring in the room and you solve that problem and you move on to the next thing.
There you go.
And stop kicking the can down the road. How long does it take for us? We're sitting here, right? If you said, hey, John, fix my handkerchief, right?
Uh-huh.
First, I want to know what's the problem with your handkerchief.
Right.
But if you're not in the room,
can't fix it.
Can't fix it.
Can't email that to me.
That's correct.
Might not get there.
And your handkerchief's not as nice looking as mine, though.
No, it's not.
No, just teasing with you. But
it has a lot of color in it, though. See?
But we talk about these problems for years now,
right?
Which I think are very simple to solve. How is it that we can have rocket scientists in Tullahoma and we can't solve a simple building code problem? It's because of leadership. I run a business. I run a technology business. And if it took me 12 years to solve a problem, I would be out of business. And don't get me wrong, Tullahoma is on a great trajectory, but there's other cities that are competing against us.
Right.
We share a county seat. Our partners in Manchester, we've got to work with them. We've got to do what we can do to make sure that we have the best health. We can bring wealth, teach people how to build it, how to retain it. And we have to make sure that we have that educational springboard for people to either develop a trade or to get a college degree. But most of all, wanting to come back to Tullahoma and continue to make this red rock that we call Tullahoma flourish. You know, years ago, Tullahoma was founded, I think some Indian, I believe, called it Red Rock.
Right.
And you got to admire the Indian that called it Red Rock. Now we see that there's Mars. Someone discovered Mars, and there's a red rock. And we're trying to get to Mars. We're trying to flourish Mars. So there's some symmetry here between that red rock and Mars. But in order for this to happen, you've got to have leadership. You got to have people that can solve problems and not kick the can down the road.
There you go.
The other thing is that I have omni-hearing. I don't belong to any special group. I don't owe anyone anything, and no one owes me anything. Right. So I'm listening to everyone. That's the reason that I'm running, because people say, Eugene, we need something that's going to take our message to City Hall. We need someone who's going to listen to everyone, and not just someone who's involved in this particular area or someone who's involved in this particular. We also want someone who has compassion.
Right.
Someone that has compassion for people. Someone that's not out there tweeting about this, that, and the other, causing a split. I can sit here and tell you about the Peggy Northcutts. I can tell you about the CD Stamps. I can tell you about other black people in Tullahoma that helped to raise me. But also I can tell you about the white people in Tullahoma. I can tell you about the Charlie Nils who sent me money when I was in college to encourage me to do well. Those are the people that I know of in Tullahoma that love one another. We don't need any mess here. We've got enough issues to address, and when I'm mayor, I will address those issues. We will take this city to the next stage. We will take advantage of this fiber to the premise technology we have. We will use camera systems to help police our city, and I will invite the community to help out as well so that we can stop this injustice. I'm so thankful for our new police chief. I've had talks with him. I actually had a chance to walk with him during the march. Okay. Speaking of walking, I want to give a shout out to Dr. Lynn Seymour for his op-ed. Wasn't that awesome?
Yes.
These are the type of people that I know that in Tullahoma that I run into. These are the ones that make Tullahoma. This is why we love Tullahoma. We don't need people that are trying to separate us, create racial issues.
No.
We live that. We don't want that anymore.
No, I agree. What we're going to do right now is take a quick commercial break. We'll be back in a minute with some more with Eugene London, write-in candidate for mayor.
We're losing it, Doctor.
Not on my shift. Quickly, brush. Roller.
What What a transformation!
It's gonna be okay.
Okay, nothing.
At Paintworks of Tullahoma, we specialize in domestic emergencies with Martin Senior Paints. You can be the paint doctor too when you treat your home with Martin Senior interior and exterior finishes.
Doctor, we've got another one.
Got you covered.
Paintworks of Tullahoma. Come see the paint doctor stat.
It's not invoice. It's not MSRP. It's not Christmas Day, although it may feel like it. It's the lowest prices in Middle Tennessee, period. It's a Stan McNabb Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram or Stan McNabb Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac before these prices are gone forever.
So you've been meaning to do something healthy, commune with nature, get outdoors and meet new people. We have the perfect solution. Come hike with us. You can find a Tennessee Trails Association chapter near you, including Clarksville, Columbia Franklin, Highland Rim, Jackson, Knoxville, Oak Ridge, Memphis, Murfreesboro, Nashville, Plateau at Crossville, and Upper Cumberland. We're on the web at TennesseeTrails.org. It's fun, it's stress-free, and it's good for you. See you on the trails.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
All right, folks, we're back with our guest today, Mr. Eugene London, write-in candidate for mayor of Tullahoma. And, you know, we've discussed a few things. I want to ask you about, you touched a little bit on the planning and codes deal. It's a difficult thing for a business to come in here, a builder to come in here, and it's just as difficult for a business. You're talking about these businesses you want to bring in. It's a nightmare to go through the planning and codes department in this town. Now, I know there's been some things happen over the last week or so that might help on that, but when you stated a minute ago, bring the people to the table who can solve the problem. There's not, since Scott Gregory left, there's not one person on the planning and codes or the planning commission who's ever pulled a permit, who's ever built anything. Now, they're smart people, but they're not the people who've had to do that. I know Chad Grimes, as a banker, has to be involved in that because he's lending money to these people who are doing these projects.
Yes.
So he understands the timeline. He understands how much construction loans cost and the interest on them versus versus the loan on the business when you get it open and operating. Those are things that have to be dealt with. And how would you go about manning that commission to see that happens?
Well, the first thing I need to do is find out what we don't know. And it's hard to do that. I want to make sure that we don't try to start from scratch. There's other cities that are doing this thing very, very well. I would like to talk to the Murfreesboro, find out what they have in place.
Right.
And maybe get a copy of what they're doing. And then I'd like to bring those folks that I mentioned earlier into the room and let's sit down and talk about this. Let's find out where we're going wrong.
Right.
We have the power to change it, but you need a leader who's going to make that change. We can sit here and talk about this all day long.
Yeah.
But once we arrive at the solution,
that needs change.
Once we arrive at the solution, Eugene London can say, this is where we're going to do it.
Okay.
But I don't know everything. And I make sure my entire life to surround myself with the people that know what's going on.
Right. With
the best people. And collectively, we'll make that decision, but at the end of the day, I'm going to do what's best for the city.
Right.
I'm not going to do what's best for this group over here or this group over there. I'm going to do what's best for the city and make sure that it's safe. And that is the key. But without me having the right people in the room and I'm making decisions in the closet, with just one or two people that don't have a total definition of the problem, we'll never get anywhere.
Right.
That will stop under my leadership.
Very good. Now, I know that the way you're running as a write-in candidate is different, and I know you wanted to spend a little time to let people know possibly how the proper way to do that is.
Sure. When you go to the poll, you get a chance and you walk into the voting machine. And if you don't know how to get to the write-in candidate, just ask someone. They can't touch the machine, but they can help you get there. You'll see where you'll have the candidates. Bypass all those because you don't want those guys, okay? You'll see the X where it says click on here and it's write in. And you have to type in my name. It's going to be Eugene and London like the city, London. Right. It's that simple. We are a high-tech county and city. The people can use a cell phone to text. Don't panic. It's going to be okay. Just like you were texting Eugene London. We can practice now. Go ahead and pull out your phone and text Eugene London. And you're going to do the same thing when you get to the poll. You're going to click on that where it says write in, and you're going to type in Eugene space London.
Now, one thing I learned in this process, because of you doing this, is you have to go and pull some papers and qualify to be a write-in candidate. So you folks out there, you think, okay, I want that guy John Gray to be, I'm going to write his name in. If you type my name in, I don't have the proper paperwork, it won't count. So don't waste a vote on somebody who's not qualified to the vote to be accepted. Right?
That is correct.
So what I want you to do right now, we've got about 2 minutes left. Eugene, I want you to, there's your window to the world right there. I want you to look at those folks and tell them why Eugene London needs to be mayor of Tullahoma.
Tullahoma needs leadership. Tullahoma needs someone who can make good decisions in bad times. Tullahoma needs someone who is familiar with the area and knows how to bring people together. Tullahoma needs someone who's not tied to any specialty group, who doesn't owe someone a favor, that's going to make decisions for the entire city as a whole. We want to make sure that we stay focused on health. We want to make sure we stay focused on wealth. And we don't stay focused on education. Those are the three things that if we as a city invest in our people, we will see the return, and our city will continue to grow, and our city will continue to prosper. So that's why I'm running for mayor, and I'm ready to begin working for you day one. And I'm asking for your vote. You guys know me. You know how I operate. You've seen the results of my performance in the city, even though it's been in the background. But you respect me, and I respect you, and I appreciate your vote. And we're going to win this race. We're going to win this race, and we're going to shock Tullahoma, and you're going to see your city prosper and work for you instead of you having to work for this city.
Eugene, thank you very much for being with us today. Thank you for all the things you've done in the past, and thank you for stepping up and allowing yourself to be someone that will get out there and do the work. And anyone who takes this on, and just to be a candidate is a strong decision, and someone to be respected and thanked for that decision. And good luck to you. And what we want to remind you folks is the election is August the 6th. Early voting is the 17th through the 1st. Thank you for being with us. And you can't complain unless you vote. We'll see you the next time on Insight.